second graders. Are you ready for more story time with Miss Wakefield? Grab your Journeys book. This week, our story can be found on page 438. Our story this week is Schools Around the World. This story is an informational text, which means it's filled with lots and lots of facts. We're also going to see some text and graphic features inside this story. Let's read Schools Around the World. Schools around the world. All around the world, children go to school. Some children spend most of their day at school. Others spend only a few hours there. Some school buildings in Asia are tall, like this one. Schools are different in different parts of the world, but they are all the same in one way. Schools are where children go to learn. These students in an American classroom start their day by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Amazing school fact! A long time ago, a German man started a new kind of school. He thought that small children should grow like flowers in a garden. He called his school Kindergarten. The word means children's garden in German. School buildings. The kind of school buildings children have depends on where they live. It depends on the climate and the resources of their community. School buildings can be large or small. They can be made from many different materials. Some children even go to school outside or in buildings with no walls. These students in Tibet, China, are about to start their morning classes. Amazing school fact! Schools have been around for thousands of years. The first schools were started to teach children about their culture. Getting to school. Children travel to school in many different ways. The kind of transportation they use depends on where they live. It also depends on how far they have to go. Many children walk or ride bicycles to school. Others ride in cars, on buses, or on a train. Some children go to school on a boat. Amazing school fact! In some places, children live too far away from their school to go there. Teachers give lessons over the radio or by using computers that are hooked up to the school. That kind of sounds a little similar. School clothing. Children around the world wear different kinds of clothing to school. What they wear often depends on the climate where they live. It also depends on what season it is. In some schools, the students all dress alike. They wear uniforms. Students from different schools have different uniforms. Students at this girls' school in Panama wear blue skirts and sweaters as part of their uniform. These students in Germany are learning science on a trip with their teachers. The school day. All around the world, teachers help students learn new things. Children do some schoolwork in groups. They do other schoolwork on their own. Most children eat lunch or a snack at school. They may also have time to play. At many schools, children take class trips too. Learning to read and write. One important job for teachers is to help children learn to read and write. Students learn to read and write in many different languages. The language children use at school depends on where they live. Some children study their own language and another language too. This teacher answers a question for his student at a school in Cuba. At an American school overseas, students study a map of Europe. Other lessons. Children learn many things at school. All around the world, they study math and science. They learn about their own country and other countries too. Many children around the world study art and music in school. They may also learn how to use the computer. These students in Great Britain are practice playing music at school. School chores. Many children have chores to do at school. They help to keep their classroom neat and clean. They may even help to set up the classroom every day. In some places, children work to keep their schoolyard neat and clean. Some children may serve lunch to one another. In the school in Japan, students help serve lunch. After school. Some children go to school even after the school day is over. They may have a tutor to help them with the subjects that are harder for them. Some children have other lessons after school. They study things they cannot learn in school. They may learn about dance, music, and their own culture. This teacher gives extra help to students after school. These boys in Israel learn about their own culture. Special schools. Some children live at schools. These schools are called boarding schools. The children go home for visits and on holidays. This girl cannot see. She goes to a school where they can learn to read and write in a special way. People who are blind read with their fingers. They use a system of raised dots called Braille. Students at this boarding school eat, study, and live together. Homeschooling. A home can also be a school. Some parents teach their children at home. They want to decide exactly what their children will learn. People at school will often help parents plan home lessons for their children. Many children who study at home go to school for gym or art class. This mother is teaching her daughter at home. School and work. Some children work as performers. They spend part of their day practicing the work that they do. They spend the rest of the day studying regular school subjects. The students below are practicing a traditional Russian dance. Amazing school fact! One of the subjects that was taught in ancient Greece was gymnastics. The ancient Greeks thought gymnastics was just as important to learn as math or reading. This boy is learning gymnastics. Boys and girls, I hoped you liked reading that. As I was reading, I heard some ways that our school is similar and some ways that it is different. I hope you enjoyed that story.